It's the nation's favourite antiques experts. Behind the wheel of a classic car.
This is the ejector button.
And a goal to scour Britain for antiques.
Where's my yellow submarine?
The aim, to make the biggest profit at auction. But it's no mean feat. There'll be worthy winners and valiant losers.
It's cheap firewood.
Will it be the high road to glory
We look really cool in this.
or the slow road to disaster?
Oh, I don't know when I'm driving.
This is Antiques Road Trip. Yeah. Welcome to the next instalment of Travels in a Crew Cab. Margie and Tim, the sequel.
We named the car we had on our last road trip. What should we call this electric mobile?
Well, you're telling me that it was a bush fire engine.
Yeah.
How about Fireman Sam?
Oh, perfect.
Yes, suits him nicely, I'd say. Like Margie Cooper applies to the woman at the wheel, and Tim Medhurst is definitely the chap sitting beside her.
Come on, Sam.
Yeah, come on.
Play it again, you might even say. Because with a range of 200 miles for every charge, it's not just the bodywork that's green. And
We look really cool in this.
it thus appears the perfect cast and crew has been assembled.
Who would you play if you were in a movie? Be one of the Bond girls, maybe?
Oh, do me a favour.
Who was the one that was painted gold?
Margie's much more into silver, though, surely. Although I'm sure she could easily inhabit the role.
I wouldn't mind playing opposite Sean Connery.
Shaken, not stirred.
He was the best, wasn't he?
What, better than Shaun the Sheep? Cheshire residing Margie is a dealer and a former fashion model who's always likely to surprise both us and herself.
Ooh, I'm going to scale it.
While Tim from Dorset, a dealer and ex-auctioneer, is, in his own way, also a bit of a crowd pleaser.
I've got a little party trick where I can date a book by its smell.
See what I mean? And it was he who sniffed out the best profits at their first auction.
95 and back to me at 100. Goes to buyer 10.
Thus, Tim starts the second leg one step ahead.
So you're going to try and win this one, Margie?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They get a fresh £200 apiece with the avowed aim of winning the best of 5 auctions. But can all this bonhomie be maintained?
Actually, I think it's much more fun to be a baddie than a goodie.
Well, I do wonder that, because they get all the fun stuff, don't
Yeah, they do.
As long as it's just pretend, eh? We began in Blackpool, and later our lot will be exploring Liverpool, before wending their way towards Wales, and a conclusion in Cardiff. Wow.
I'm excited for shopping in Merseyside.
Yeah, let's see what we can find.
Well, just hold your electric horses for a moment, because first stop on today's rummage is in the Lancashire village of Eccleston, where, amongst other delights, they have bygone times with signs.
Here we are.
Yeah, rather large, I believe.
Last time I came here,
Yeah.
I got lost.
Well, our latter-day Hansel and Gretel should have fun in this establishment. A former cotton mill with a slightly dizzying array of antiques and vintage.
Post-war football rattle. Up you Blues.
Which ones?
Manchester City.
Other blues are available.
Right, I'm playing around here, getting nothing done.
What about Tim, also rattling around in this huge centre?
Oh, this chair clearly belongs to me. Quite uncomfortable, actually.
Most amusing. I'm sure they'll settle down shortly.
You got any money?
There we are, that's everything I've got.
Oh, when you went to church, you get it down the pew. Give us your money.
What would you use it for now?
Crisps.
If you don't want to get near anyone. Have you found anything?
In a word, no.
Don't we just know it?
Shall I...
Move
head
on, please.
Yeah.
Move on.
I'll
Bye.
see you later.
Love you. Bye.
Love you too.
£200 to spend, remember? Now, what's he got there?
Always love work boxes and tea caddies and things. I always think they're such wonderful workmanship. Look at this one here. It's actually a sewing box, but what grabs me is all of the inlaid wood on it. It's beautiful, even with this lovely satin wood stringing. And the skill involved in making that is quite extraordinary. And inside, you've got this removable lid, so you can keep all your goodies inside.
Ticket price, £95, though.
And it's a great thing because you can use this now as it would have been well over 100 years ago when it was made during the Victorian period. And I think that's one of the nice things about antiques is that they have a use today as well, and especially boxes, because I love boxes. But that is a nice little thing.
He won't be parting with almost half his budget just yet, then. Margie?
Now, whatever is that? It's some kind of lectern. The interesting thing about antiques is you don't know it all. And all the time you come across things like this. It says here, Anglo-German Friendship Club. That's England and Germany, obviously trying to set up a committee, maybe, to improve relations. I think that could be the lion's head of England, and maybe that could be something to do with the horse of Hanover, and the chain, obviously linking the two, England with Germany. Interesting. What an interesting thing. Early 20th century.
The association launched in December 1905.
It's £135. I've never seen anything like it. Do you think it's worth having a go at buying it?
Only you can decide, Margie. But what about her friend?
This is actually really nice quality. What's caught my eye straight away is this gilt and silver mix. And the second thing that I've spotted is how beautiful the handle is. And it wouldn't surprise me if it's silver. Often the handle is silver and the rest of it isn't.
Time for a closer look.
Ah, so I can see here a mark 800 silver, and it's only marked on the handle. And 800 silver would probably indicate that it's continental, maybe French, Italian, German. On the box, it says cake slice, but I do think that's probably more of a fish server. I would say, date-wise, we're looking at the early 20th century, around 1910, something like that, so the end of the Edwardian period. Now, at £15, I can't just leave this here. I think there's definitely a profit in it. It's a nice quality piece of silver, and I can see buyers really liking that.
Nicely spotted. Now, with a Margie.
What's this? This is more me. Ah, that's quite nice, isn't it? 4 perfume bottles in a leather case, missing the little catch. What's it say here? £28. There's a tiny profit there, I think. Let's have a look at it. Rather nice little shaped bottle with a chrome top and with a stopper. That's all right. Gets better as I look at it. Ah, an old Boots label. This is taking it back to, what, 1940s? Euler Verbena. So for a lady to carry this with her, that's the only one that's full. All the rest are empty. Let's see if this has got its top as well. Yeah, look, the stoppers. And when you buy these things, usually the stoppers are missing. It's £28. You know, there may be £10 in it, but I'm happy to make £10. So let's go and see if I can buy it.
However not.
Jackie.
Hi,
Here we
Margie.
go. I've found that nice little set of bottles, right?
Now
This
that's
is
nice.
Price £28. Is there any leverage on that?
I can give you that for 18.
Oh, marvellous.
She's not going to quibble with that.
See you again, love.
Bye-bye.
182 left. So, while Margie heads for knickknacks new, can Tim rustle up one more item?
These are rather nice. Nice pair of salts. So you would have your salt in these little cellars on the table, and there's a set of hallmarks with a date letter that puts them at 1902. And I can see here the maker, GU, I believe is George Unite, who was a good maker of silver in the late Victorian period. He died in the late 19th century, but his workshop carried on. But the design, that literally is a throwback to the late 18th, probably more early 19th century, during the reign of George III. This really beautiful shape.
With glass liners made of Bristol blue.
Now, they're priced at £70 for the pair, which actually, for a pair of silver salts, seems quite reasonable. So I think they could do quite well in auction.
He does sound chipper, doesn't he?
Ah, Kaylee, hello.
Hiya, you okay?
Yeah, very well. I've got on a bit of a silver theme today. These nice salts, you've got £70 on those, and a little fish slice, you've got 15 on that. Do you think there's any movement on them at all?
Well, I know these 2 items could go to 60.
Right, OK. What if I took both as a group?
So it's £60 for the salts,
Yeah.
and then 10% you'd get on the cake
Oh,
slice.
OK, so we're talking £73.50.
Yeah.
OK,
Thank
it's a
you very
deal.
much.
Thank you very much indeed.
Making the salt 60 and the slice £13 and 50p.
See you again soon.
So thank you.
Bye.
But while Tim departs with £126.50, Margie's already miles away. Still not forgotten that defeat in their first trip to the sale room, however.
I'll get an auction under my belt, I'm sure. Try and square it up a bit. It's the way the cookie crumbles, and he's such a nice person, and he's good fun. He hasn't got on my nerves once. We just enjoy being together. And I'm learning from him.
She'll hopefully be able to put some of that newfound knowledge into practice. Down by the River Mersey, in the port of Runcorn, where 3 famous bridges span the river, and the Manchester Ship Canal, and the town's Latin motto translates as, "Fill the ship with goods." Which is what, on a slightly more modest scale, our Margie hopes to do.
Ooh, lovely fish. Gosh, big one's in there. That one's staring at me.
He just wants to be friends, Margie, I'm sure.
Oh, raining. Hello, Jim.
Hello, Margie.
Nice to meet you.
And you?
I'm just going to take a look around.
Help yourself.
Thank you.
OK.
Thanks, Jim. Now, what can she find in CJ Antiques and Collectibles?
Gentlemen helmets.
Maybe not. But certainly there's plenty to choose from, and she does still have £182 left after all.
Gosh, that's an old well bucket, I think. Hook it on the well, and down it goes. What an old relic that is. What I like about it is there's fabulous ironwork on it. Look at that. Old blacksmith put that together. It's a functional item of, what, 150 years old? You could actually call it a big piece of treen, couldn't you? Solid as heck, isn't it?
Don't bang on it too hard, though.
Right you are, Jim.
It is not in a great state of repair. It's nibbled all round the edge. Yeah, interesting. Let's have a look underneath. Yes, good old thing, isn't it? Look at that. Bit of age.
No ticket price, though.
I've never bought a well bucket before, so shall I do it today? How much is it, Jim, to me?
To you?
Yeah.
30. Well, 25, though.
Can I have a think about that?
Yeah.
As I wander around your shop?
Yeah.
It's the Antiques Road Trip, and I think that just might be antique.
Well, well. Time to catch up with Tim now. Just over 20 miles away in Crosby, where Gang of 4 member Shirley Williams was elected as a Social Democrat MP in 1981. And we have our own candidate at College Antiques. So, what does a snap poll say?
Well, this is an absolute treasure trove, all sorts of wonders. And there's so much of it, I can't wait to get stuck in. Don't know where to start. Over here.
Strongly approves. £126.50 to spend, remember?
Get in here. Gently does it. That's a really good looking vase, isn't it? Look at that. And yeah, I thought so. You wouldn't think it, but that is by Dalton. It's Dalton Lambeth silicon. It was a type of very highly fired stoneware. And this one's beautifully decorated. It's sort of simulating fine porcelain, even though it's stoneware.
With a matte glaze known as smear.
It's got these beautiful portraits around here. The high decoration, it's Etruscan revival. Date-wise, around 1880s to the early 20th century, that's when siliconware was produced. But I get all excited, and then you see the restoration right at the top. And look at this. I mean, it's quite amateur. But what a beautiful vase, anyway. I don't know the price, but I'm not even going to ask because I just don't think it's a goer in the auction with damage like that. But what a great looking piece. Oh, gently does it again.
Oh, well, that damage notwithstanding, perhaps pottery is the thing to buy in here.
Down we go.
Don't do yourself a mischief, mind.
Ooh. Oh, it's chipped. After all of that. Oh, that's a shame. It's a nice little plate. You have to be so careful when you're buying porcelain to check for condition. This one's quite obvious, but it has been quite crudely painted over, but there is quite a big chip on the rim. It's a shame because it is a lovely Cantonese porcelain plate, probably from about the turn of the century, but it's got this beautiful famille rose decoration.
Indicating the pink colour.
But amongst the foliage and flowers, you've also got dragons, you've got birds, butterflies, and it's really, really nice. Even with the damage, because that is such a quality plate, I could see that selling, but for how much because of the damage?
No ticket price on that one.
If it's a cheapie, I might buy it because, to be honest, if that was sitting in a plate stand, you wouldn't see the damage, so you can enjoy it at home and it makes it more affordable. So I think we'll find out the price. I'll leave it there for now.
Lordy.
Excuse me.
Certainly. Back to Runcorn now, where Margie has this on her bucket list, which Jim says she can have for £25.
Ah, no, I quite like that. These are, I hate the word, but they are on trend, these. 1930s factory lamp. And you know what's nice about it? I love the colour. There's lots of copies of these, but there's no way this is a copy. Splashes of paint, which probably could come off. It's a pretty good nick, actually. Quite like that. Look how old it is. It's a real oldie. Called factory lamps.
Their original use for lighting factories.
So just no price on it. It's got the look. It's enamel.
Bit chipped now.
So it's got everything going for it. A nice bit of vintage. Could do with a dust. Jim, have you got a bit of... Yeah. Oh, that's right. Let's bring it up.
All part of the service.
So that. And I think I'm going to go for the well bucket.
Right.
And what about this?
15.
Oh, that's all right, isn't it?
Yep.
I'll shake your hand on that.
£40 in total. She just needs to grab her goods.
I'm off.
OK, bye now.
And thank you so much.
£142 left.
Crash out the door. Oopsie daisy. There we go. I'm gone. I'm gone. Bye.
There's another chip. She loves to make an exit. Crosby now, where Tim hasn't bought a thing just yet, although he does have designs on that famille rose plate. And Angelo will be the man to do business with.
Now that is something that's up my street. I can tell that from here. Let's get it down and have a look. Now, the reason I really like this is because I think it's got quite a lot of age. And if you know me, you know that I love things that are old. This is a beautiful brass dish. It's known as an arms dish, and originally most people would say the origin of them was in Nuremberg. And they weren't actually used as an arms dish back then. They were used at home. They were for serving food, or I think even to put a candlestick on in the centre of the table, things like that. And then they were used as offering bowls in churches, hence where they get the name an alms dish. And believe it or not, having looked at this one, it's got some serious age. I think we might even be looking at 16th or 17th century. So you're talking 400 years old, possibly. Isn't that wonderful? You've got some lovely decoration here. It has those acorns in groups around here, which I think are absolutely beautiful. And then the lozenge shapes as well.
Yeah. Ticket price, £48.
I would probably say this is a European one, Flemish, that sort of area, which when you think about it, for something that has got serious age, I think that is reasonable. But if we can chat to Angelo and maybe get the price down a little bit, that might help me out a bit. I really like this. Angelo.
Yeah.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm all right, cheers.
I've managed to find a bit of brass and a bit of porcelain.
Yeah.
You've got £48 on this dish.
Yeah.
But this hasn't got a price on it. There is a bit of damage. What do you think?
That one can be 20 quid.
OK, so we're looking at 68 the two. What's your very, very best price? Give me your best shot.
45.
For the two?
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with that. Thank you very much.
30 for the arms dish and 15 for the porcelain.
Right. Oh, let's get going.
With £81.50 left for tomorrow. Time now to share all this with his chum, not to mention Fireman Sam.
What do you reckon we should have tonight? Do you think we should get the gas stove out, have some sausages on the old camping stove?
No, we'll go to a nice restaurant.
Oh, OK.
Yeah, wine and dine me tonight.
OK, it's a deal.
I'm feeling hungry. Nighty-night. Next morning finds them awfully excited about their impending arrival in the big city.
Right, we're off to Merseyside.
Yeah, have you been?
I have been to the Cavern Club, so yes.
Oh.
And the Beatles were there. They were playing.
Yep.
Quite incredible, really.
Yeah.
Although not at the same time, obviously. Yesterday, our pair were very busy shoppers indeed. What with Tim acquiring a fish slice, some silver salts, a famille rose plate, and an arms dish.
I think we might even be talking 400 years old.
Which leaves him with £81.50 for today's purchases. And Margie picked up an industrial lampshade, a set of perfume bottles and a wooden bucket, as you do.
Solid as heck, isn't it?
Don't bang on it too hard, though.
Meaning she has 142 left in her kitty.
I bought a well bucket.
Well.
Well bucket. And it's Coopered, so it's solid.
It's been Margie Cooper.
Margie Cooper.
Sort of goes with the fire engine, doesn't it? Today's extravaganza will be taking place entirely within the confines of the city of Liverpool. Lovely. Which, after the construction of its first dock back in the early 18th century, grew to become a port of global significance, with a rapidly expanding population that came from England, Ireland, and much further afield. So, before they start to explore the city's antique shops, our pair want to find out more about one of Liverpool's oldest migrant communities in Chinatown.
Hello.
Hi, Tim.
How are you?
Yes,
Lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You've got some beautiful flowers here. What's going on?
I'm going to plant some flowers
Nice.
to welcome the spring.
Can I give you a hand?
Yeah,
Is that all
sure.
right?
Thank you.
I-Ching Wang teaches Chinese studies at Liverpool University.
So what's the history of this beautiful arch then?
This arch is actually built in Shanghai in 1999 and shipped all the way from China
Wow.
in 2,000 pieces in big containers. It's actually the tallest arch in Europe.
How old is the community that would have been here?
Really, really old.
Yeah.
Actually, the first cohort of Chinese people arrived in 1834.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That early?
1834.
Wow.
And they were merchant sailors.
We were importing lots of things in the 18th century from China, but it must have been so exciting to actually meet people from that country when they actually moved here as well.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they faced some difficulty in the job market, some discrimination.
Right, okay.
So they had to stay close together. They set up the Chinatown, they set up their own businesses like laundress, restaurants, boarding houses. Those merchant sailors married local women and have children here.
Yeah.
Within a few years, the city had become known as the New York of Europe. And when, in the early 20th century, a Liverpudlian shipping firm acquired a Chinese company with ports in Hong Kong and Shanghai, the link with East Asia became even more firmly established. A connection celebrated with this monument on Nelson Street.
Dragons actually are quite significant, aren't they, on this archway?
Yeah,
Because pretty much every panel is covered with dragons. And chasing the pearl of wisdom, is that?
We call that 二龙戏珠 in Chinese,
Okay.
which literally means two dragons playing with a pearl.
Yes, I can see down here as well, you've got the pair of guardian lions or foo dogs, aren't they?
Yeah, there's always a pair
Yeah.
of those kind of guardian lions. One is male and the other one is female.
I can see up there as well, there's a phoenix bird, is it?
Yeah, actually there's a Chinese saying called 龙凤呈祥, which means loans and phoenixes bring prosperity.
Currently, there are more than 10,000 Chinese people living in and around Liverpool, with a cultural impact which spreads way beyond the streets of Chinatown.
And then we're just going to bring the hands up in front. We're clearing a space in front of the body.
Our pair are now being introduced to Qigong, which was developed thousands of years ago as part of traditional Chinese medicine. It's a series of exercises for the body, mind and spirit. Hi, Margie.
Then we exhale to clear the space.
I think it's working.
We're going to dispense with a little bit of anger. And there's two ways of doing that. This is the first one. This is punching to release anger. With the right hand, you come forward. As you come forward, rotate the wrist so that you end up with a punch, and you can come down for that. Traditionally, it's done with an angry face. But everyone smiles when I say that, so it doesn't work.
But no visit to Chinatown is complete without a bite to eat.
I got some dumplings. Would you like one?
I like a
Look at
dumpling.
those.
Oh,
Oh.
my goodness.
Right, cheers.
Cheers. Ugh. Had fun, haven't we?
We have. Even more fun now we're eating.
Got to go back to shopping now. Qigong is over.
Like Margie said, the work resumes here. And Tim's about to shop at a place which shares its name with a very famous Liverpudlian song.
This looks great. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well. What's your name?
I'm Angela.
Introductions concluded, our man is free to roam the Penny Lane Emporium. £81.50 remaining in the Medhurst kitty, remember?
This is quite a nice plate. This decoration is known as imari, and it's a Western term used for a type of porcelain made in Japan called Arita, which was the region it was made. And the Western term imari was basically from the port Imari, where the Japanese items came in and then were distributed.
Thence to Nagasaki before heading to Europe.
And it's really well decorated. It's got beautiful reds and greens, but what I like about that one is this central decoration here, which is actually quite beautiful with the gilt leaves. And I'd say date-wise, we're probably looking to turn of the century, around 1900, 1920. Imari porcelain, when it first came to this country, it was imported mainly in the 17th, 18th century, and then it became very fashionable, and even European countries started copying the Imari pattern. It's priced at £55, and because it's got no damage at all, which is quite amazing for 100 years old, isn't it? Listen to that. Lovely ring. No cracks, no damage, no chips. That might be one to consider, but for now, I'll hang it up. We'll have a think about it, carry on walking.
And while he does that, we'll find out where Margie's got to. Having travelled beneath the mighty Mersey towards Birkenhead, towards another shop with a familiar-sounding name.
Last orders.
For one more chance to acquire that potentially auction-winning item. David is the man in charge of room 101, by the way. And I'm sure he'll be pleased to discover that Margie still has more than enough to spend.
I'm in my last shop, and I don't quite know how this has happened. I've got £142 left. So I'm just busy searching.
And to make her choice even bigger, this establishment has a fair bit outside as well.
Oh, this is fun, isn't it? This is a Victorian seed drill. So the idea is that you put your seeds in the box, because the original way of doing this was to just go through the fields and we plough the fields and scatter. But in the 18th century, there was a man called Jethro Tull.
Oh, I think I know where this is heading.
Don't get confused with the rock band. The real Jethro Tull was an agriculturist, and he invented the first seed drill. And his idea was brilliant, because you could spread the seed evenly. And you can see by the way this works, that you put the seed in here, like that, and then as you go along, there's a little wheel at the back, which is spinning it out. I like it. It says here, £48. Shall I buy it? Makes a change from buying silver, doesn't it?
Tim seems to be doing that this time, though.
If I could do a deal at like 30-something, surely somebody would buy that. Bit of history, agricultural history.
A road trip? Do you know, I think it might well be a first. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Mersey, Tim's just got a boring old plate reserved. Only kidding. Anything else just as nice?
It's an interesting thing. It says unusual and rare Victorian campaign bureau. It's a type of writing box. It's got removable compartments and hinges, all sorts of things. But I don't think it's necessarily technically Victorian. I think it's probably Anglo-Indian. And I think a lot of things like this were made for people that were working overseas, and you'd have things commissioned while you were over there. And this, I suppose, stylistically is very similar to a brass-bound mahogany writing slope from Georgian or Victorian England. But if you open it up, you can see that it's very stylistically, I would say, from that part of the world in India, because a lot of the manufacture here, you can see, is very similar to Indian boxes from that period, especially if you look at all the compartments that open this inlaid brass wire work, which makes it quite an interesting box, actually.
£95 on the ticket.
It might be a bit punchy, but it might be worth finding out the best price. I've got, I think, around £80 left. So it could be a contender at the right price, but we'll think about it.
£81.50 to be exact. So just a wee bit short. But he's not done yet.
I can see some nice pottery here. Isn't that nice? This is probably Scotland's most well-known pottery. This is Weemsware, very characteristic. You can spot it a mile off. There was a man called Mr. Heron, and he set up a pottery factory. And this was in Fife, and the family that lived in Weems Castle they championed the early work of Mr. Heron, and it gained lots and lots of interest.
They were originally based in Kirkcaldy.
It's just a useful size, and I love the cherry design. I think it's really nice. It's good for a country kitchen. And price-wise, they've got on this one, £75. But what's going for this is there's no cracks. Quite often, Weemsware even sounds damaged when you tap it. Listen. See? There's not even a crack in this. But it's just quite a brittle porcelain, so you do have to look over them very carefully. It's also stamped Weems as well. Date-wise, probably near the turn of the century, around 1900, 1920, something like that. It's got a lot going for it. I really like it. It's just the price, £75. It's quite close to the mark, but maybe it's one to add to the list. There's several things here I like.
Time to talk turkey.
Angela.
Hi.
Hello. I've had a great time looking around.
Good.
And I've found 3 things that I'm really keen on.
Okay.
So you've got £75 on the bowl, there's £95 on the writing box, and £55 on the plate. I can only buy one of them.
Right. First off, the box, he's just recently reduced that.
OK.
So the bowl, I think I could probably do that for around 50.
OK.
And the Amari plate, 40.
The bowl, the Weems bowl,
Uh-huh.
do you think we could squeeze it down a little bit more than...
I can push it to 45.
I'd be happy at 45. Shall we shake on it?
Very kind, Angela. So that's him all done, with £36.50 left over. Back to Birkenhead, where Margie's grown awfully fond of a seed drill, and she's now on the lookout for more. See what I mean? Naughty.
Oh, this is an old relic, isn't it? Look at this. It's a sweetheart cushion sent home by probably the soldiers in the First World War, maybe the Boer War. They're very collectible and popular, these, and with the motto of his regiment in the middle of it. A few regiments use that motto, which is something to do with evil, shame of the evil or something. Tim Wonnacott will cover that for you. He'll know.
Oniswaki Malipause. Shame on anyone who thinks evil of it. You're welcome.
But isn't it an interesting thing? And you've got, like, true love and all this silk round it. And I'd love to know who it was for, but we're never going to know. What a lovely thing to receive. Right, I'm going to take it to the desk and have a little chat.
No ticket price on that one. Over to dealer David.
Is it a local regiment?
It is. The badge is actually for the King's Liverpool Regiment.
Sounds good.
Right, well, first of all, don't laugh. I've been playing around outside with your seed drill. So, how much is the seed drill, first of all?
30.
Right, well, that's good. So how much can that be?
We were going to advertise it at £80.
Yeah, and?
Some discount for you. We'll do it at 40.
Well, that's very generous. Shall we say 45?
Never mind. Never mind customers haggling upwards, that's
so
great.
It's 75, isn't it?
It is. Very convivial.
Thanks, David, very much indeed. Bye-bye.
£67 unspent. Now, time to reconvene the crew and get ready for the auction.
So you're quite happy about what you bought?
I'm pretty chuffed, actually,
Yeah.
yeah. They're all proper antiques, I think.
Well, I went a bit sort of off-piste. I saw this seed drill.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely in really good condition.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Is our dear friend, Philip Serrell.
Absolutely.
He probably once owned it. Shut-eye time. Say hello to Starbridge, a delightful spot with a canal named after it. They've shopped from Eccleston to Birkenhead before bringing their goods to the Black Country. And Fielding's auctioneers, where they'll be selling in the room, on the net and on the phone. With Will Farmer, the man in charge.
£45.
Trying to remember who won the last leg in the auction. Was it you?
You did.
I forgot.
But
just needed reminding.
I challenge you today.
OK, all
I
right. Challenge
challenge you.
accepted.
Tim spent £163.50 on 5 auction lots. Anything especially tasty, Will?
The pair of Georgian-style table salts are beautiful. They're a really lovely thing. They've got that patina, they've got that look. I like these. I think they're a very, very smart little lot, and I'm hoping that these will do well today.
Margie parted with a little bit less, £133 for her 5 offerings.
The industrial light fitting with that amazing green enamel is a really great looking object. Very much on trend. If you're looking to just make that little industrial statement in an interior, this is absolutely perfect.
Sounds super. And here come our gladiators, looking awfully excited.
Well, we've had fun shopping.
We have.
Let's hope it's a fun auction, shall we?
We'll have to see, won't we?
First under the hammer is Tim's fish slice. Lovely.
I think it's got some stuff going.
Can't lose at £13.50. You're buying keenly.
£10 for it? 5 then. Is there an offer at £5?
Well, the silver handle scraps for more than that.
Now suddenly everyone's woken up online. We're now at £10.
So useful
Two bidders
thing.
dived in at £10. We're now bid at 10 and 15, if you will. Otherwise, at £10, and are we sure? No further interest, no further advance.
Oh
At
dear,
£10,
that's a shame,
we'll
isn't
take it.
£3.50 down.
My first loss.
Can't lose, she said, but somehow he managed it.
There's no justice, is there, in the world?
There isn't. Devastating.
Margie's turn, and these were almost as inexpensively bought.
I quite like those little travelling accoutrements in their
Yeah,
boxes.
and it was complete, which they're not usually, are they?
No. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
You'll start me at £5. Get me underway at £5 for the little vintage soap.
£5 whole
Surely.
pounds. It's well
Who's
worth
gonna take
£5.
it? Thank you. Any challenge?
I think
any
that's the
takers?
cheapest thing
I
they've
can
ever
sell
sold in
at
this
£5.
auction house.
Are we all sure? Gavel is aloft and away they go
Wow.
with it. Just
I can't remember
£5.
anything ever making £5 in an auction.
And you're moaning about your fish slice.
Both off to a somewhat underwhelming start.
So that was £1 for each bottle and £1 for the box.
Oh, well, that's cheered me up no end.
Let's hope Tim's salts can turn the tide.
I think they look smart.
Very smart.
Who's going to open at £40 for the 2 silver salts?
Oh, they're worth that all day long.
Drop to 30. Any interest at £30?
Got to take a hammering on this.
We'll go 10 then. 30. Suddenly everyone's woken up. We're now online at 35. 40 surely. I still think they're worth it. Is there any
They are
further
very
interest?
much. They are worth it. They're worth double that, love.
Right, Mark, see ya.
Come back, Tim. There's still a long way to go.
Big time
Hey, we're
loss.
not doing well, are we?
Well,
Perhaps Starbridge craves industrial. Margie's lampshade is next.
I like the green ones. Your eyes are green. My eyes are green.
Really? Nice.
Good colour.
I like green eyes.
Yeah, I do as well.
Who's going to open at £20 for it, surely? £10, I'll open and ask it £10 for the ceiling light.
It's not lighting up the room, is it?
Cool thing.
Will you stop joking when I'm in serious trouble?
£10 online unbid, 15 a challenge. Surely it's got to be worth this. £10
Oh.
with the gavel aloft and away it goes at just £10.
Do you know what, Margie? I'm actually sorry for you there, because I've actually been looking for one, and you could have just sold it to me.
Ah, now you tell me.
I'm not sure that would be strictly allowed anyway.
Light stop.
Thank you. Seagulls.
Focus, please. Tim's arms plate next. Let's hope someone recognises a proper antique when they see it.
I believe that it's an original one.
You really think it's that old?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Who's going to open me at £20?
Oh.
Seems a cheap lot, this. £110.
You're in.
That's more like it.
We're at 110. Is there 120 anywhere else? Otherwise,
I mean, it's still quite cheap, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
£110 it will be.
Yes. Well done.
Finally, things are looking up.
£80 profit.
I know.
There's something to talk about, that,
Isn't it?
Yeah. That's not nothing.
Margie's well bucket is next. Also old and very useful.
£10 I can open. 15 a challenge. 20 if they come back. £15 we're now at 20.
I think there's a hole in that bucket, isn't there?
I could do no more, and selling away at £15.
I think I'm going to burst into tears in a minute.
What rotten luck! Still a couple of lots to go, though.
I think you might need a bucket for your tears, mightn't you?
Now for Tim's Famille Rose plate, as seen.
There is a rule, though, isn't there? Don't buy porcelain that's chipped, but I don't like that rule because it means you can buy some lovely things at a cheaper price.
We're £10 bid straight in, £10
How's it
I've
so
got to
cheap?
bid online at
I don't
10,
know, that's got to be
15
worth
surely.
more than that.
15 I'm now bid at 15 and 20 a challenge.
I'm out of
20
trouble.
I'm bidding 5. Surely there's got to be one more in it somewhere.
That's worth more than that.
Otherwise at £20 I can sell Gavel Loft and away it goes then.
Oh.
Why is that?
20, all sure?
Surprising.
What's
But there we are.
surprising?
Yeah, and any good news is especially appreciated today.
I made a profit, £5.
All right, don't keep rubbing profits in.
Margie's penultimate lot, her sweetheart cushion.
Very emotive things.
They are,
aren't
yeah.
They're lovely being a heart shape. And
Yeah.
in its frame, it's preserved its condition.
Who's going to make that challenge and open at £60? It's a super lot. 50 I'll offer them. Will you start me at 50? Start lower then. We'll open at £10, surely. Someone's got to give me a £10 start.
Here, can I bid? Can I bid?
£10 I'm bid, thank you.
Oh, my
£15 now a challenge, rightly so. 20 they're back, 25 will you? All platforms are quiet, rooms quiet, we're at £20. Gavel Loft, and I will sell them at £20.
That's so
All sure?
disappointing.
Sorry.
Talk about swings and roundabouts.
Not to mention the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune.
Disappointment there.
Tim's had a much more varied experience today. Can he end on a high with his Weemsware bowl?
Who's going to open at £60? Get me underway at 60.
Oh, he's
Where's
got
that
hopes.
challenge, surely? £40, is there any interest out there?
Oh, gosh.
Let's start at £10 then.
Oh,
Who's
no.
going to make that start? £40 now, someone dives in at 40.
Oh, good.
Is there 5 a challenge anywhere else? Otherwise, at £40, that bid taken.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
Not too bad, I think, considering.
Oh, it's a funny old game, this,
A
isn't
good
it?
bit of Scottish ceramic.
I know.
pottery.
Very, very collectible, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Now the one we've all been waiting for, the seed drill.
But I'm beginning to worry.
I'm not convinced, but
£30 too much, isn't it?
And I've got multiple bids and interest.
at
I have to open at £95.
You are joking.
Is there 100? If
There's
you
life
will,
in the old girl, yeah.
at £95, it sells.
well done. Well done, my
And
dear.
everybody laughed at me.
You sowed the seed of profit there. Look at that. Well done.
Quite. Bit of a showstopper, eh?
We plough the fields and
Scatter.
scatter the good seed on the land. Remember that?
You really have burnt up now, haven't you?
Great finish, Margie, although maybe not quite enough. Because after auction costs, she still made a bit of a loss. £5.40, but not bad. While Tim, also with sale room fees deducted, made a tidy profit, £25.70. The overall profit at the end of the week will go to children in need.
After you, Margie.
Well, you did it again.
Whoops!
Some people have all the luck.
Luck was on my side, I have to.
No, you deserved it.
Next on Antiques Road Trip, car sickness.
Well, I've got 2 under my belt now.
All right, all right, all right. Bring one of me headaches on.
Dutch courage.
Oh, look at your shoes.
Oh, you noticed my new treaders? They're quite nice, aren't they?
They look comfy.
And going clubbing.
If I try and juggle, I'll smash half the place up.